Hey everybody, happy Monday. I'm Shannon Sommerville and welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. We'll be joined by Tyler Wiemann shortly to go over some daily fantasy baseball projections and our prop bets and home run calls. You don't want to miss them. We have been on quite the streak with those. But first things first, we've got a lot of weather to get to today. And quite simply, the word of the day in weather around MLB action is just yuck. Taking a look at the first game, Arizona at Washington, that has been postponed. Next game, San Francisco at New York Mets, 7:10 start here. Models have this game dry for roughly 90 minutes and then pouring from that point on. So 48 degrees, 38% chance of rain with 16-mile-an-hour winds blowing across right to left. Tampa Bay at Chicago, temps in the 30s, but it will feel like it's in the 20s. Scattered snow showers. Yes, snow showers. Winds around 20 miles an hour. They're blowing out to right, but the cold, dense air, that'll make this far from hitters' weather. Philadelphia at Colorado Rockies, 65 degrees, 0% chance of rain there. So clear skies, 8-mile-an-hour winds out to left. Baltimore at Oakland. Some scattered showers moving in late, but should hold off until after the game. 61 degrees there, 44% chance of rain with 10-mile-an-hour winds to left. Cincinnati Reds at San Diego, 62 degrees, 0% chance of rain with just a light breeze, 6-mile-an-hour winds blowing across left to right. Atlanta at Dodgers, 65 degrees, 0% chance of rain with 8-mile-an-hour winds out to center. All right, that's a look at our weather conditions for today. Just some nasty conditions. Makes me very grateful to be here in Southern California at our studios here. Nice weather. I even saw some whales over the weekend by the beach. Very scenic. So not at all the conditions that a lot of these teams are going to be facing today in the weather, especially in Chicago. It does not look good. So
I, for one, am not a fan of a city with where it feels like 20 degrees.
Right, and chances of snow is never a good thing to see on the weather report if you're a Major League Baseball player. So definitely take that into account. First things first, we have to address how awesome we have been doing at all of our picks, at our prop bets, our home run calls, and a certain person winning $10,000 in a daily fantasy contest. First of all, tell us how you feel. How did you do it? Tell me everything that there is to know about winning $10,000.
Good old Victory Lap Mondays. I love it. Yes, Friday, using pretty much everybody I talked about on the pod on Friday, I was able to win the $121 battery, which is a single entry lineup, and take first for $10,000.
Love to see it. That's a great way to head into the weekend.
Absolutely. We absolutely crushed last week. You went 6 for 6 with props.
6 for 6 with props.
Hit one of your home run calls. You're on fire.
I mean, it was a great week for all of us. So that being said, pay attention to our projections. We'll start off with taking a look at some of our pitchers today in daily fantasy baseball. And like I said before, keep in mind, we've got some weather conditions to contend with, but the highest owned pitchers now. Let's talk about A's righty Frankie Montas going up against the Orioles, 45% owned on DraftKings and 40 on FanDuel. What do you like about his matchup today?
Montas is pretty much an elite pitcher, and his price is pretty middle ground. $7,300 on DraftKings is just way too cheap for his caliber. And he's going against a Baltimore team that has a 84 WRC plus versus righties. Not exactly great. The combined K rate is 26%, and Montas has a 3.3 FIP. He's a great pitcher in a great situation.
And the Orioles have the second highest strikeout rate of any team right now, so really like that option. Padres lefty Sean Manaea versus the Reds, 45% on DraftKings, 20% on FanDuel. And what do you like about your Padres guy going up against the Reds?
You know, I'm struggling saying any Padre player right now because every time I have, it hasn't worked out for me yet. Shannon was very nice to point out over the weekend that every home run call where I picked a Padre they have not hit a home run. However, if I don't pick a Padre, I've got it.
So now, yeah, you have to work within those confines of those parameters. But today I do like Manaea.
Manaea's in a great spot. He is versus Cincinnati, who's been absolutely awful versus lefties. They have a 48 WRC plus, a 28% K rate, and they're only hitting 179 versus lefties. Meanwhile, Manaea has a 3.75 FIP. And over the last 5 games, he has a 2.43 FIP, and he's striking out 28% of batters. So he's in a great spot against a struggling team. You got to like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds, 4th in strikeouts, 2nd lowest batting average.
Yes.
Though Joey Votto does make some great TikToks.
He does.
I don't think that's going to help him out against Manaea today. So let's take a look now at Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw taking the mound today. After he got yanked after 7 perfect. Are we still upset about that, Dave Roberts? A little bit upset about that. We wanted to see a perfect game, but I get it. Hey, I get it. He's on a pitch count.
I get it. He's had injury concerns in the past, so you definitely want to keep him healthy. But adding a perfect game to his overall resume, like, what does that do to him personally as far as an elite pitcher in baseball history?
Definitely. I'm with you 100% on that one. So Clayton Kershaw, once again, taking the hill, going up against the Braves. How do you like his matchup here?
So it's the Braves offense, which we all know is a great offense. They're the World Series champs. They replaced Freddy Freeman with Matt Olson, who has stepped in and just been crushing the ball. So as far as an offense, I don't like picking on him, but it is Clayton Kershaw. You can't really ever count him out.
13 strikeouts last time.
Exactly, and he was in amazing form. So it's either, do you want to follow that he's on fire, or go after Atlanta offense? The one thing I do want to say about the Atlanta offense is they have started off the year a little sluggish. They're kind of middle of the road, so it's not quite the Braves that we came to know last year. So far.
That's a good point. Now let's take a look at some low-owned pitchers. The first one I was a little intrigued by, Zach Thompson, the right-hander for the Pirates, is going up against the Brew Crew. 5% owned about. What stands out to you about this one?
He is going to be very low-owned. He is extremely cheap. He does have some upside. He has a 25% K rate. Meanwhile, Milwaukee has been bottom of the league.
Right.
With a 87 WRC plus and 22% K rate versus righties. So really, this is all about upside. It's a risky play. Not many people are going to be on it. And on today's slate, we are going to have to figure out where to get different because we have Coors Field. We have some very chalky pitchers. You're going to need to take some risks somewhere.
And another risk, Rays lefty Shane McClanahan versus the Cubs. And I say risky only because we just don't know what the weather conditions are going to be like and how that may, benefit or be to the detriment of certain pitchers and teams. So what about him stands out to you?
Absolutely. One thing that you did note in the weather report is that, it's going to be in the 30s. With the wind chill, it's going to be in the 20s. Now, they shouldn't have an issue with precipitation to be able to play the game, but do they want to play when it's that cold? Do they want fans in the stands when it's that cold? So I think there is some concerns about the Cubs wanting to postpone just because it's too cold. With that being said, if they do play, who wants to hit a 96-mile-an-hour fastball in freezing temperatures?
Good point.
I don't. I don't want to hit a 96-mile-an-hour fastball ever, but it's something to definitely bring up. And to start the year, Shane's velocity on his fastball has been up almost 1 mile an hour. Meanwhile, his off-speed stuff has been down 2 to 3 miles an hour. So that difference should make him a little bit harder to hit this year if it obviously continues to keep going, as it is a small sample size. But it is something to note, and that one of the main reasons I do like him this year.
He did get saddled with a loss last time out, gave up a 3-run home run, but he did have 8 strikeouts, and some of his stuff looked pretty good. So
yeah, he's been pitching great. He pitched great all last year, and he showed a lot of upside last year. So I think we could see that again this year.
Sure. Let's take a look at the Giants righty Alex Cobb. And what about this Giants-Mets matchup stands out to you in terms of a daily fantasy perspective?
So I wanted to bring this one up because right now ownership projections are showing both Alex Cobb and Tyler McGill to be around 10-12%. However, there is rain forecasted, which could end the game early.
Right.
So using these guys, you're kind of rolling the dice, but both pitchers are really good. Both of them are in a decent spot. So I like them both, but just know if you're going to play them, there is a chance the game's over early.
Yeah.
Or they postpone it or some kind of weird weather business could be involved.
Always some gambles when you take on Mother Nature. Let's take a look at some high-owned stacks. Right now, we're looking at Phillies at Coors Field, or just really Coors Field in general. But Phillies will be taking on Rockies righty Chad Kuhl. What do you like about the Phillies bats in this one?
Well, one, Chad Kuhl is not exactly a scary pitcher. The other thing is versus lefties, the Phillies have a 151 WRC plus, and they're in Colorado. So I definitely expect them to get the best of Chad Kuhl tonight and probably put up some good runs. They also have the highest implied total on the slate.
And Rockies going up against Aaron Nola. Again, we're just playing a Coors Field, so are we just playing to that effect?
Exactly. Now, Colorado's a higher-owned stack, and that's more so why I'm mentioning them here. But there is some stuff to take note of that is interesting. Bryant, CJ Cron, Diaz, McMahon, Rogers, and Blackman all have really good BVP data versus Nola. So he has been hit by Colorado before. It's something to go off. The one thing that I would notice or would say is that in Colorado, Nola's been okay. He hasn't been the Aaron Nola that we've known him for, but fantasy point-wise, he's been in the 16 to 24-point range, which means he's probably giving up, 2-3 runs and getting a handful of strikeouts. So it's not like he's been awful in Coors Field.
All right, so definitely something to note there. Another high-owned stack, Oakland Athletics going up against Orioles righty Spencer Watkins, who last game against the Brew Crew gave up 4 runs in just 3 innings and just 1 strikeout for him. So you're liking this matchup?
Yes. Watkins been awful to right-handers.
Okay.
So Oakland's going to probably stack their lineup with righties. The one thing to note, though, is versus righties, Oakland's only at a 92 WRC plus, so something has to give here. Either Watkins is going to have a game of his career, or Oakland's going to finally kind of bring up that small sample size 92 WRC plus.
All right, let's find some value with these low-owned stacks. No surprise to see the San Diego Padres here going up against Reds lefty Nick Lodolo. The 7th overall pick in 2019 was kind of up and down in his debut, allowing 5 earned runs and 4 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts. So nothing groundbreaking from him. Is that why you're going Padres in this one?
Absolutely. That, and that he's been very bad against righties as well. He's given up. It is a small sample size, I'll say that, but he's given up a 551 WOBA against righties and a .412 ISO. So not only is he letting people on base, he's also letting people hit the ball hard. So that is a big reason why I'm in on them. The Padres also have a 126 WRC plus versus lefties, which is the 7th best in the league so far. They aren't going to be unowned by any means. Looks like Voit, Machado, and Nola all could be decently owned, but the rest of the Padres are probably fairly low owned.
Another team we're taking a look at is the Angels going up against Houston righty Michael Lorenzen. What do you like about the Angels in this one? Besides, of course, Shohei Ohtani. He was rocking a Cowboys hat on Friday when he hit some bombs, which, of course, you predicted accurately.
He hit two.
Not one, but two.
And him wearing the cowboy hat was something I did not know I needed until I saw it.
It was the content exactly that you didn't know that you needed in your life, and now it's your lock screen on your cell phone. That's just how it works sometimes with Shohei Ohtani.
It is. All right. So they are going against Luis Garcia, who is a good pitcher. However, Trout did get hurt yesterday. He hurt his hand. They have him officially labeled as day-to-day. So I like this stat a lot, but if he's out of the lineup, it changes things quite a bit. The one thing I will bring up is the Angels have been scorching hot. Ohtani has been crushing it, and they have a bunch of guys with really good BVP data. Ohtani, Trout, Walsh are all hitting over a 500 WOBA versus Garcia. And while Garcia is great to righties, he's not very good against lefties. So if you're using the Angels, you probably want to focus on the lefties and then also Trout.
Awesome. So some great options for you guys to choose from, and keep an eye on things throughout the day as they may change, especially with the weather. And you can keep up with us at LineStar on Twitter, all of our social media accounts. Now it is time for our home run calls. Tyler, you were correct on Friday. You've actually been crushing the home run calls. We all kind of, between all of us, we have, at least one of us has predicted a home run for the day, which is pretty impressive.
Every day this season.
So that's awesome.
Every day this season so far, one of us has hit.
So let's continue the streak, shall we? Who are you going with today?
I got to go back to the cowboy hat, Shohei Ohtani.
All right. Can't blame you there.
Yep.
Now, kind of like you just mentioned, they have a pretty favorable matchup, but is that why?
That's exactly why. In 14 plate attempts, Ohtani has a .33 average. He has a .51 WOBA, and he's hitting 14% of his plate appearances. He's hitting a home run off Garcia. So multiple home runs in 14 attempts. I got to roll with it.
Give him the cowboy hat. Yeehaw. Let's go, Ohtani.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. I'm going Bryce Harper. Of course, I'm going to Coors Field. We love Bryce Harper at Coors Field, a lefty bat going up against righty Chad Kuhl. He had a home run yesterday against the Marlins, and Harper last season a .711 slugging percentage against right-handers. Give me Harper at Coors Field for the home run of the day.
I love it. I was considering that one as well.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter and retweet us for a chance to win some cool prizes. So keep an eye on that. And now it is time for me to try to continue the streak with our prop bets. Y'all, 6 in a row is what I'm at right now.
We need some
Going
pyrotechnics.
For 7. We need pyrotechnics.
This
I've
lady
been lobbying
is on
this.
fire.
The company meeting agenda will have a new bullet point. Pyrotechnics is what we need on the set. I'll even settle for, hey, a little cupcake with a candle. Does that count? I don't know, but I would settle for it. I'm
down.
All right, let's talk about our prop bets for today. Where are you headed with yours?
All right, I'm getting a little wild, and I'm actually going to throw out 2 different prop bets today. One, we're going to start with the one that's a little more conservative, and we're going to go Jared Walsh over 1.5 total bases. It's plus 120. I thought that value was way too good to pass up when Garcia is not that great against lefties, and Walsh has absolutely crushed him in, I think it was 16 plate attempts. He has over a 700 WOBA.
All right, so is that your conservative one?
That's my conservative one.
All
Plus
right.
120, we're going conservative. Next, we're going with a home run parlay.
Oh, wow.
Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Schwarbaum for plus 1440.
It's a parlay party. I like it.
Yep.
We're getting crazy. I love it. Where I'm going with my prop bet is Freddy Freeman. I was a little nervous and apprehensive being that he's going against his old team. You know, there could be those nerves, facing his old team, a little weird, kind of awkward, like, seeing your ex-boyfriend out in public. It's just weird. But I think he settles in. He's been kind of crushing it lately. At a 4-hit game Yesterday, 367 average versus right-handed pitching, and against Huascar Noah, who gave up 5 earned runs in 3 innings pitched last time out. So give me Freddy Freeman over 1.5 bases. That's at plus 130. Going for 7.
I love
See
it.
if we
Let's
can
do it.
All right. For more sports analytics and statistics, you can go to our LineStarApp.com website or just download the app. And as always, like and subscribe on our YouTube page. If you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're listening on, make sure to just go to YouTube. Just click the like and subscribe, and you can keep up with all of our content. We'll have lots of videos breaking down, for example, how you win 10K in a day in daily fantasy. Drinks on this guy.
Let's do it.
So keep up with us there. If you're playing today, best of luck to you, and we'll see you tomorrow.